Welcome to Nintendo Engineers. I'm your host, Chris Tice. We're here for the review of OPUS, the Rocket of Whispers. It's a pretty interesting game and sort of a novel simulation type game. But let's get into the game so I can tell you exactly what it's all about. OPUS Rocket of Whispers is a really interesting game and it's a really fun game. Now, it's really interesting. It has a predecessor called The Day We Found Earth, which was pretty cool. So this game has a young boy called John. His dad does rockets, building rockets, all that exciting stuff. And there's these witches who do rituals to send earthly ghosts up into space, which is pretty interesting. Now, 25 years later or something like that, John has become pretty angry, lone, bitter. He seems to really not be all there in the mind, but he is haunted by ghosts. Woo! Which is very interesting. And it's really like a storybook type game. There's lots of questions where he can ask people things and that, and he talks to the ghosts and things like that. There's a character called Fee who is a witch who also happens to build rockets. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And humanity and the world around him has been decimated to basically just a few people left. And there may be the last two on the damn planet, which was interesting. Really interesting game. The storyline is really good, and I feel like that is really interesting. So you're obviously building rockets and stuff like that, but you're also helping out the ghosts sort of piece together unfinished issues in their life. You know, sort of a ghost whisperer who sort of solves their problems. Now, that's not entirely, that's not part of the main mission and all that sort of stuff. So you'll be going backwards and forwards in the game here and there, and that is interesting too. You're picking up equipment, upgrading them, such as getting, snowshoes and something to cut iron and steel and things like that, and building your rockets and things like that. So it's really interesting. It is a very cool story. Now, for myself, sometimes the text gets a bit too much in these sort of story-based games, and I think it's hard coming, personally myself, from Oxenfree to this game, where Oxenfree does the dialogue as you do in the gameplay, where you tend to do the gameplay, and you get all these, text messages from Fee or the other characters in the game. But I think it's not too bad. And the storyline more than makes up for it, and the graphics is very pretty nice. I really like it, and the mellow, the music, and that it all seems to all gel together really nicely. So let's hop off back to the desk, and we'll find out what that final score is. Opus Rocket of Whispers is a really cool game. I enjoyed a lot about it. I think it's an excellent game. It's definitely worthy of a buy, especially with the Switch. It works really well on the handheld and obviously works well on the TV. I'm giving it an 8.5. I think it's a great little game. So I think that should be part of your Switch collection if you want something of a different genre and stuff like that. And yes, I think definitely the strong points is the pretty graphics, the good music, and the storyline. Obviously, it's probably its main strength, for obvious reasons, for this type of genre game. So go off and buy it now. It's just come out in recent times for the Nintendo Switch. So that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.